So this comes from Nikkei Asian Review. Okay. Nintendo envisions billion-dollar business in mobile games. Incoming chief on the hunt for next Pokemon Go to complement Switch. Nintendo is applying Nintendo is applying lessons from Pokemon Go to build up smartphone game operations into a 100 billion yen or $910 million business, its incoming president told Nikkei. From what I can see, smartphone games are the ones I want to expand the most, said Shuntaro Furukawa, who will take the helm in June. The Kyoto-based company has reported stellar earnings. Consolidated sales more than doubled to 1 trillion yen for the year ended March 31st, with operating profit jumping sixfold. This owed much to the hot-selling Nintendo Switch console handheld hybrid. Nintendo has notoriously dragged its feet on smartphone games, only entering the market in March 2016 and releasing just a handful of titles to date. Including revenue from licensing characters, the segment, including mobile games, posted sales of 39.3 billion yen for fiscal 2017, nearly 4% of the total. Should I keep going?
No, it's basically just...
that's basically the gist of it.
It's Nintendo, some of their games on mobile have been super successful, and some of the games have been the opposite of successful. Their first big mobile game was Mitomo, and they're closing it down. So that shows
because it was boring.
Yeah, it was like half social app, half game. So yeah. And then like Pokemon Go was a huge success, but that had almost nothing to do with Nintendo. Because that was, I forgot the name of the developers, but like Nintendo...
Niantic?
Yeah, it was Niantic, the Pokemon Company, and Nintendo. And Nintendo had like a small piece of ownership over it, like a very, very teeny tiny. And they released the Pokemon Go trackers or whatever it was, like the little Bluetooth thing that would connect.
Yeah, the little watches, yeah.
Yeah. But Nintendo is basically seeing all the money that Pokemon Go is making, and they want to put out their own game that does that. Mario Jump or Mario Run.
Super Mario Run.
Yeah, there was the meme going around where it's like, why is it Sonic Jump and Mario Run? Because Sonic had a game called Sonic Jump, and then Mario had Mario Run. So, Justin Viger in the chat says, "What's a super chat?" and donated $2 Canadian.
What's a super chat?
Super chat is because on a lot more famous YouTube channels, the chat usually goes by so fast where there are so many people talking, like when you have hundreds of people in the chat that you can't read them. So super chat allows your chat or your post to be highlighted to where it's guaranteed to be seen by everyone, plus it guarantees the person to see it. And you can, the more you donate, the longer it stays up, and it helps separate yours from everyone else's. So thank you for the $2.
I learned something today.
It's also really good to do if you want to ask questions in the YouTube chat and you feel like we're not acknowledging anything that's happening there. You can super chat it. We'll notice it.
In fairness, we're probably not acknowledging what's happening there.
Yeah. So, we mostly focus on the chat towards the mailbag segments. But thank you,
focuses
Justin.
On that chat towards the mailbag segments.
Yeah. So, there was Sonic Jump, which Sonic is known for running, but his game was Sonic Jump. Mario's known for jumping, but his game was Mario Run. So it's like there's a bit of what's going on here.
It's called Mario Run, but the only thing you can do in that game is jump.
Yeah.
Thanks, Nintendo.
And Sonic, I think it's the one where it's like there's the middle side, left side, and the right side, and then you can
like Temple Run.
Yeah, it's basically Sonic's version of Temple Run. So it literally should be like Sonic Run because that's what you're doing. But weird thing, I think like Sega, Nintendo were like, hey, why don't we troll everyone and switch?
Supreme Leader Toad says Mario Walk.
Mario Walk. Yeah.
Isn't that Zelda?
No, that would be Mario Climb.
No.
Depends. But yeah, like Nintendo, they're wanting to have their big push into the mobile game. Mario Jump was very successful. Mario Run, sorry, was very successful. Like the first month or so that it released. I think that was because everybody was excited for like the next big Mario game, which ended up being Mario Odyssey. It was around the holiday season. So everyone had like $5-10 left over that they could purchase the game with. Now they have the Animal Crossing mobile game Pocket Camp, I believe.
Which is a genius idea.
Which I think is doing amazing, and not to be like, oh, like I'm an Animal Crossing fan, but I'm actually really impressed.
But you are.
Yeah. But like, when they announced Pocket Camp, I was like, oh great, another Animal Crossing game that's going to be a waste of my time because they won't release a full one. But like, there is so much content and they do so many updates for Animal Crossing Pocket Camp. Like, I'm impressed how much energy they put into it. Like, they did something for like Mother's Day and Children's Day, and there's always like different events and different updates, and they're trying to figure out more ways to incorporate more of how Animal Crossing actually is into its mobile game. So
that's cool.
I'm impressed, and the amount of updates they do like keeps me actively playing. And they also have a lot of microtransactions as well, so people that are like really like diehard can spend money on that, and then they get more money.
I think
I'm like I stay the hell away from Animal Crossing, but even I'm thinking like that's just a smart idea. Put it on the phone. Like why would you not?
Yeah, exactly. And honestly, it's like I'll be sitting there and I'm like, oh great, like I have Wi-Fi for a bit. Let me go do a couple of things, catch some fish, maybe paint my van. But yeah, like I think as far as like Nintendo phone apps go, like that one I'm the most impressed with, just because I feel like there's so much that it offers.
Yeah, I think a lot of the cool ideas and features they have for the Animal Crossing smartphone game came from maybe stuff that they wanted to do with like a big Wii U game or on the 3DS, but where the 3DS isn't that, like there's a lot of limitations on what you can do with the 3DS. They ended up just moving or taking those good ideas and putting it on smartphone.
Yeah.
Which could be the case, I don't know. But anyways, with Nintendo wanting to do this big push into the mobile games again, they already have some of the games out. Fire Emblem, which we skipped. Have you played the Fire Emblem mobile game? Anyone? No?
I played 2 levels of it.
Alright.
And then I stopped. But at the same time, I had like just finished playing through Fire Emblem Awakening, which is really good. And then I started trying to play that, and I was just like, "What is this?"
Who are your top waifus?
What?
Who are your top waifus?
I enjoy Fire Emblem, but I'm not one of those people who enjoys Fire Emblem. Okay.
Everyone is one of those people.
No.
There was another piece of news. I didn't put it on here, but I can talk about it in like 10 seconds. It was basically the developers of Fire Emblem Warriors and Hyrule Warriors saying that they loved working on Fire Emblem Warriors so much, but they began the game before they really knew what the Nintendo Switch was. So they were originally designing it for the 3DS and the Wii U, I believe, and then they decided to stop the Wii U version and move it to the Switch. And they began development before the new 3DS Fire Emblem games came out. So there was a lot of stuff they wanted to add from those games that they weren't able to add into Fire Emblem Warriors. So they wanted to make a sequel. But Nintendo doesn't want them to make a sequel. And my theory is it's to either make a third franchise Warrior crossover. So I don't know what that would be, like Mario Warriors or Metroid Warriors. I don't know what franchise they would use. But my thought is so they could focus on a third one, or they could do Hyrule Warriors 2.
That's probably going to happen, to be fair.
Yeah. So, but anyways, back to the mobile thing. I want to ask you guys, what franchise do you think Nintendo is going to focus on next for the big mobile game? They have Animal Crossing, Mario, the failed social media Miitomo half game, half social media thing, and then they have Yeah, I think that's it. They could still do something with Pokemon, but there's like Zelda, there's Metroid, there's Star Fox. I think an on-rail Star Fox game, to where like you just choose the direction that the R-Wing flies in, could be really cool, and then you could tap to shoot.
Oh, so kind of like an arcade style almost.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I think something like that could be cool. I don't know if people would actually invest in it. But yeah, what are your guys' thoughts? What type of game do you guys want to see? Really quick, in the chat, there is Ilya Rose, which is one of the first times I've seen her in the comments of a live podcast. If anyone has been watching any of the recent scripted videos, so like the Zelda theories or list videos and stuff, she's the one that's been doing the voiceover that everybody has been saying
awesome.
A lot of nice stuff for. So everyone give big thumbs up for Ilya. So yeah, I think something akin to Phantom Hourglass or Spirit Tracks, since those are complete touch-based Zelda games, like they could literally just port those over, and I think they would work even better than on the 3DS, because you would have the same, like you'd have the same touch controls and stuff that you would have on the DS.
System where everyone's used to it.
Yeah, like, and you could even like, so if you look at the normal size of like an iPhone or something,
yeah,
if you have like the top half for the top screen and the bottom half for the bottom screen, that's still larger than the original version of the DS that the games were designed for. So even if you turn your phone vertical and you share each half of the screen for Phantom Hourglass, it's going to be larger than the original game, and the resolution is going to be a lot higher, because instead of like 240p or whatever it was, it's going to be in like HD. So in every way possible, it's like a better version of the game. And you can,
but there's one part of Phantom Hourglass where there's like a basically stamp, and to like do it, you close the DS, open it up again. And obviously they'd change that if they did it for mobile. They changed it for the Wii U version. But I just imagine someone like trying to like phone, just like
how did they work around that on the Wii U?
My phone for this game.
On the Wii U, you just open the home menu and then close it.
Oh yeah, they could do that.
The train, could you hear that?
Yeah, on Spirit Tracks.
There's a train that goes past my house.
Was that an attempt to segue into Spirit Tracks?
No.
There's legitimately a train.
But
it's really
Did
loud.
you bribe the train yard, Daniel?
I bribed him at 7:31 p.m. Are we talking about Zelda?
So with Spirit Tracks, the problem that I had playing it on the original 3DS was you have to blow on the flute when you're playing. And you have to use the touchscreen to like pick which note you're playing while you're blowing. But on the original 3DS, the microphone's like on the very bottom side. So like you had to hold on. So if
I know what you did.
If this was if my phone was the 3DS and the microphone is right here, like I would have to blow on it like this while like you can't really get to the touch screen while you're doing it.
Sorry.
Yeah.
But I mean, this game, that's you, Jesse, because this game was not for 3DS originally.
No,
it was a DS game, but
no, but he's right. You don't trust me.
No, just do the demonstration again. It's just 3DS.
I know why you guys are laughing now. Shame. But yeah, what franchises would you guys like to see? Nintendo.
Zelda, well, for one.
But like, how would they do it? Would it be a third Phantom Hourglass style
Zelda
game?
But I do not want them to.
Here's what you do. Zelda 1 / Link's Awakening / Oracle series gameplay. Persistent world. Give everyone dungeon editor stuff, because that's what people have been talking about a little bit. Super Mario Maker. Let the players make the game world. You have a certain quadrant of the world dedicated to you, and you can design the layout of the area in the area designated to you, and the whole game world is just grids of people's areas.
Okay, but that sounds awesome,
Yeah.
But when you're actually playing it, it's going to be terrible. It will be awful.
Well,
for Mario Maker to know that when people are left in charge with a palette of amazing tools with tons of options and stuff like ahead of them, one of those people will make an awesome, very interesting, well thought out designed level, and the other 99% of those people will just make garbage, just like filled with like 20 things just stacked on top of each other and enormous, and that's it.
You are very right. But there's always a fix, and here's the fix. Have everyone upvote or downvote the areas, and then rearrange the quadrants so that let's say the upper left or whatever is the first area you go, is the easiest to access area, and then you just put the top rated stuff in the most easily accessible parts of the map, and then you put the lowest rated stuff in the hardest to access parts of the map. Just shift everyone's areas according to their ratings. And you can even make it so it can't be unbeatable, force the player to be able to beat their own thing. And then
So similar like Super Mario Maker, you have to upload it in Mario Maker.
Yeah.
You have to be able to beat the course. So some people either make a workaround that is like a secret, or they are just impossible people to begin with. Like, I don't know if you've seen like some of the crazy things. It's like, that's not possible. People do it. They have to like time it by 1 pixel at 1/8 of a second to bounce off a thing.
Those frame perfect jumps. I think that, like, I agree. I'd love to see like a Zelda mobile, but I think that if they did do a Zelda mobile, it'd probably be more structured like a pixel dungeon.
Yeah. Well, anyway, the main point is you can just do almost anything. The point of mobile is you can make like tons of small games, and the smaller the game is, the more you can mess around. You can have all kinds of things. They could play like the series that they're based on, or they could not. I mean, let's face it, does Pokemon Go play anything like Pokemon? Does Super Mario Run play anything like Mario? Not really. And it's just you can a little bit.
Yeah.
The point is it's a huge playground is the main thing.
I think there was a quote back when they first began making the mobile games. They said that, and this is kind of what they've told like the team that worked on Hyrule Warriors and some of the other third-party developers that they work with. They tell them to create the games that Nintendo can't. So basically, like, make a mobile game that us at Nintendo wouldn't be able to make on the Nintendo Switch. So focus on something that is creative and uses the platform to take advantage of what it offers, as opposed to making one that could also work on the Nintendo Switch. Which is why like Mario Run is basically just like a tap game, as opposed to actually controlling where he goes with like your finger, or like having digital buttons. So, and then like with they told the Mario Cross Rabbids team like they don't want.
Are you okay?
Like Nintendo told the Mario Rabbids team that they didn't want Mario to be able to jump, and like they told the Hyrule Warriors team that they weren't allowed to use like big elaborate puzzles or dungeons and stuff like that.
Right.
So yeah, I think that's why we get these really stripped down obscure versions of these games, and I do wonder how they would be able to do that with Zelda, and I hope it wouldn't be like the last handheld Zelda game, Triforce Heroes, and the last home console Zelda game, Breath of the Wild, had huge focus in clothing and changing the designs and weapons and stuff like that of the characters. And I hope Nintendo wouldn't do what a lot of people are doing, which is like, hey, do you want a new costume? Pay $5 and you can have this digital, like this basic reskin. I hope Nintendo wouldn't do that. I hope they would just be like, hey, here's the game, pay $20 and you unlock everything, as opposed to paying $2 for this, $5 for that, $10 for this.
I mean, it would be good to have that if it was like a ton of extra stuff built onto a huge base of normal stuff. Like that's how they're funding the development costs of adding extra stuff in the long term or something like that. But other than that, yeah, it would be pretty terrible.
Yeah. All right. Do you guys have any final things on the Nintendo mobile side?
Legend of Zelda Go.
Legend of Zelda.
You play in dungeons that are procedurally generated based on items you photograph in the real world. It'd be like Scribblenauts. It would recognize certain objects that you photograph, and then you'd get dungeon items of dumb stuff from the real world with powers that they decided to make them.
Beautiful.
I don't know.
Amazing. Daniel's just like, can we not invite him on here anymore?
All right, Kayla, take us to Nintendo Hire for a new Zelda game.
All right.